Over, I think, 3 years ago at this point, I beat my current hardest tower, the Tower of Generation Failure. At the time, I was honestly really proud of this achievement, and I honestly didn't know if I'd ever be able to beat anything harder, considering at the time there was only like TOCR and TOCP, and, you know, who wants to do those things. But after that, I really lost a lot of motivation for the game, and kind of slowly drifted away as I got older. I stopped playing the game competitively and, like, seriously, and just started playing things when I want to and having fun, and ended up even just stopped playing the game entirely for a good, like, year or two. But eventually, when more areas came out, such as Zone 9 and 10, and so on, I eventually decided to come out of the game and slowly come back and, you know, regain some of my skill. And I would do so by beating a couple Insanes and Extremes, and, you know, just genuinely trying to get back into the hobby and stuff. But one thing I knew for a fact I had to do at some point was to beat a new hardest tower. I honestly didn't know which one I would even decide to do, because I was so, like, I didn't really have the skill set for a lot of certain katas. A lot of them were really hard or really complicated, and ToGF really doesn't really prepare you for a lot of things, to be honest. But after finally getting a new computer and dying to play this one catastrophic tower that I've been wanting to play forever, once I got my new computer, I knew it was time that I had to beat something harder. And that's what I did in just 2 weeks. This is the Tower of Empty Meaningless Patterns by Heskey, who made Tower of Alien Radiance, Tower of Rush Memories, and Tower Towards Oblivion. If you know those towers, you know. But this is Tower of Empty Meaningless Patterns, a limited catastrophic tower that sits inside of Zone 9 of Ito, and is probably, if not, I feel like, in my opinion, it probably is the, like, least beaten kata in the game. Probably even more than TOCP, to be honest, just because of how this tower works. This tower is very, very learny and very intimidating for a lot of people because they just can't be bothered to deal with its really janky gameplay and really just overall learning and weird style it has. But honestly, when I first played this tower, I honestly had a blast playing through it. I thought it was super unique, I thought it was really cool, and I really wanted to beat it. So once I got my new computer, I started practicing the tower. Day 1 of this grind went basically the same you would expect as any grind would go. I mean, I sat there practicing the tower for like an hour or two, just learning how every floor works, and all 4 in the tower. Oh man. So this 4 is very, very gimmicky. Because this tower constantly scares people away because it's very gimmicky, which scares people off because they don't know how to play gimmicky towers. Okay, I suck ass. I suck ass part 2. Evil ass wraparound. Oh! Jesus Christ, that shit is far. Ah! Eventually, I did do some good runs this day, and I did actually play legit and get a run to 4, which I might have on the screen now. Yeah, if I had the footage, it'll be on the screen now. But yeah. I ended up getting to 4 that day, and honestly was pretty satisfied with the day 1 of a tower that I'd never really played legit before. Getting to 4-4 seems that looks pretty good for a tower that I was really unfamiliar with and still pretty new to, and it was also a new hardest. But obviously, I knew very well if I wanted to beat this tower, I have to pray this tower and practice it a lot more than that. And this is exactly what I did on day 2. On day 2, I finally decided to start getting really good runs on the tower. I eventually started practicing, got up really early, started practicing the tower again, and I even got a run of beating 4-4, 4-5, 4-6, and beating 4, 7, 8, 9, and 10 all in the same day. How did I pull this off in just a span of like an hour? I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't know for sure. I guess I was just really good that day. And it seems I was very good that day, because I ended up getting to 5 and getting a new PB with no fails, and then fluking 5 right to 4-6. And honestly, looking at this now, I'm honestly kind of impressed that I can even do that, considering my really low skill level, to be honest. I'm definitely kata skill level due to the things I've done, but I honestly just didn't expect to get that far on this tower on just day 2 of the grind, to be honest. But unfortunately though, this praise and good mood would not last long, because I was then met with the second hardest for the entire tower. This was my first attempt on 4-6, and I honestly didn't know how it would go. I ended up getting past this hard extra pressure drum, and honestly getting pretty far into the 4. I'd already practiced this 4 a lot beforehand, so I was really equipped and ready for the gameplay on it, though I was still expecting to fail it. I passed the wall hop first try somehow, which is honestly kind of shocking, because I used to actually suck at this part when I originally played this tower. I also passed these really scary trust bounces just to end up failing this jump here for some fucking reason because I suck ass at the game. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get back that run and ended up failing to a trust because I suck. Thankfully, though, I would get back to 6, even though I had a couple close calls on 5. Oh god! Not the good heavens brick. Anything but the good heavens brick. However, the trend of failing 4 resist didn't stop there, unfortunately. Whoa! Whoa! None of that. Oh, fuck. God damn the wall. God damn the wall hop, dude. I hate the wall hop so much. It's so bullshit. It's so booty butt. Oh! Oh! What the?
Nope.
Oh my god, why? I tried getting back up after that fail as well, but unfortunately I couldn't. I ended up falling on 4 down into the hole, and that makes you lose your button progress. Overall, day 2 was a huge improvement, and I honestly didn't expect to get as far as I did. I honestly did wish at the time that I would have gotten a little bit farther than I did on that day, and honestly probably could have gotten a 7 if I didn't fail this balance, but overall it is what it is, and I was very happy with it, and I was really excited to see what would happen on day 3. On day 2, the streak of failing 4-6 continued, and this is where I really started to understand how I actually feel about this tower. I'll keep my, analysis and how I genuinely feel about the tower and my opinions at the end of the video, but I want to be clear that this 4 is probably my least favorite 4 of the tower, minus 4-3, and I really, really wish it was, a little bit more balanced, and this tower's balancing is honestly a different problem. So, let me quickly explain it for those who have never played this tower. 4-1 of this tower is honestly pretty easy, and honestly, you probably won't ever fail it once you're grinding this tower, because it gives you a bunch of button progress to just skip like the entire floor. It could take a little while to get past it the first time, but usually won't take long. 4-2 has a button that takes you basically, it basically counts as button progress, but it's like not really button progress. It kind of just nerfs the 4, and I really, really don't like it. Like, I really don't like that. In my opinion, I would much rather just have actual button progress instead of just nerfing the 4. Especially considering some of the jumps on the 4 that are like really hard, like barely change at all. And I just don't really understand that. Plus you still have to do the entire 4 again. And this time it's like 10 times more boring because it's easier. I just don't really get the idea of him doing that instead of actual button progress, but that's nothing given how much I hate 4-3 this tower. I don't know, maybe I'm just bad, and maybe I'm just inconsistent at flip gameplay, but I swear for the life of me, I could never, ever get consistent at 4-3 this tower, for the life of me. I felt like I would constantly get shoved too far to the left or to the right, or would not give enough momentum constantly on these flips for, like, just randomly, and it would genuinely drive me nuts early on in this tower's grind. It felt like no matter what I did, it was just not working, and I would just sometimes fall off the tower for literally doing it the way it literally indicates you to do the 4. It was then when I found out later in the grind that a lot of these indicators on these flips actually completely lie to you, and flipping on them will actually make the jump 10 times harder than doing it in the spot that you're supposed to. And yeah, I was not very happy when I found this out, obviously. 4-4, in my opinion, is probably the most neutral for the tower. It's not really particularly anything interesting, but it's not bad. I enjoy going through it, and you get button progress on it to skip most of it once you're done with it. It's a pretty fun 4, it has a couple hard jumps here and there. I think it's pretty nice. 4-5 is the longest 4 of ToEMP, and by quite a bit actually, though it is kind of very safe and kind of gives you a lot of button progress, and honestly I think it's probably one of the most fun 4s of the tower in my opinion. I really like the safe but hard atmosphere it gives off, and the song is really, really good. But unfortunately, right after that is 4-6. 4-6 ends your run basically when you fall on it, except you fall on the island and you get your buttons, so I guess technically it doesn't end your run. And you can also fall on this thing on 4, where you could go back to 4 if you're lucky enough, but like good luck ever falling on this part, because it's only like the first few parts of 6 probably. And yeah, this 4 is really, really hard, and it's very punishing, and it is probably going to be a huge roadblock early grind for sure. After that, you finally get a break. Somewhat. Let me explain. 4-7 is a netted 4 with relatively hard gameplay, but with a twist. On this 4, there is a ledge that you have to use to fling yourself back up to get back up instead of, like, you know, just getting teleported back or something. And if you fail this, you actually get flown out of the tower. After 4-7, you're greeted by 4-8, which is actually fully netted 4, but it is pretty hard and it is all timed, so I recommend practicing this 4 quite a bit if you want to do this tower, just so you don't spend like an hour doing this 4 every single run, because it's pretty freaking hard, I won't lie. After 4-8, you finally get to where this tower really stops holding back. 4-9 is the most punishing for the tower, and it will kill you pretty much anywhere you fall on it. There's only certain parts of this 4 that won't kill you, and there's like only 3 jumps to that where it can happen, and yeah, pretty much this entire 4 is death, and there's a lot of ouch breaks here and there and stuff as well, and overall this 4 is just really scary. But, unfortunately, the tower's not done with you yet. Because then you're greeted by 4-10, which is the hardest for the tower, and it's not even close. The gameplay on this 4 is like on the higher end of catastrophic in my opinion. It is really hard, it's very precise, and it is insanely stressful to do on a legit run, I would know. However, I do think this 4 has the best gameplay of the tower in my opinion. I think 4-10 is really good. It's just really, really, really hard. And honestly, I kind of like that, because falling on 4-10 sends you back to 9, which isn't the end of the world, I guess, but, you know, still not ideal, because if you fall on 9, well... Day 4 also went pretty much the same as the other days with me failing 6 a lot. However, eventually I did actually get to 7 this day. However, I don't have the recording for it, because my recording, it's at this point in my grind where my recordings started randomly corrupting or lagging like crazy. And as you can see, this is how they look. They're kind of just frozen on 1 frame, or like really, really laggy for some reason. So unfortunately, a lot of the recordings for the earlier days, I actually don't have anymore, unfortunately. And it kind of sucks, honestly. I really wish this didn't happen, to be honest, but I guess it is what it is. I captured the winning run and a good run of the early grind, so although I'm definitely a bit upset about it, it's not the end of the road. And yeah. Eventually, I got to 7, and got to 8, and then I got my first attempt on 9, where I actually fluked 9 somehow, and got to 10, but obviously, it wouldn't last very long, because I ended up failing this jump here, and then ended up falling again on this jump, which was honestly kind of embarrassing, and then I ended up dying on 9 on this first lodge jump, because I'm just, not really that good at the game, apparently. Yeah, that jump is pretty hard, though, so it's not, I guess it is kind of expected. I was just really happy that I got to 10. I really didn't think I'd fluke 9, to be honest. I thought 9 was really hard on this tower, and I didn't think I thought I would fail at least once before I got to 10, but apparently not. And honestly, that really gave me a huge morality boost, and I was really hoping that I could beat this tower, like, even the next day. I could not have been farther from the truth there. As I said before, a lot of my footage corrupted and kind of messed up, so I don't really have a lot of footage of me getting far on this tower for like days, like 5 through 8 or something. I don't really remember. I had a really hard time playing this tower sometimes due to the early 4s being really annoying and 4-6 just constantly being a loop fail hell for me. I honestly was really stressing myself out with this grind because I was also trying to build a tower I'm building currently at the same time, and it was really destroying my mental and stressing me out because I was trying to multitask and it was clearly not working. Because of that, I was really slow grinding this tower, but I was still doing it every day just to make sure I wasn't losing consistency, and I was still getting to 6 usually. There was only one day where I didn't get to 6, and that's because this happened. Okay, dude. Alright. At this point, we're just rage baiting, bro. At this point, we're just fucking rage baiting me. But it gets better, because right after that, I proceeded to then get back to the same floor, get back to the exact same part I just completed on it, and then get a couple jumps further, and then my computer shut off on me. Why? I have no idea. I think I might have actually bumped the cord a bit or something. I really don't know. But yeah, that's basically how that day went, and I didn't get to 6 at all, because I guess especially when I'm looking on 5. Fortunately, the next day I did get back to 6, and I did get to 7. However, that wouldn't last very long, because I ended up failing 9 again, this time to dying to ouch bricks, because, yeah, I'm very, very good at the game, clearly.
Bruh.
Okay, at this point I'm just retarded, bro. The next day, I got back to 9 again, and this time I proceeded to miss the button on the outside, and then try to jump to the button platform, and then, of course, since I missed the button, it wasn't there, and I fell into the void and died, and yeah, I wish I could show you the actual recording, but again, my recordings kept corrupting constantly throughout this entire experience, and I'm honestly pretty heated and salty about it, to be honest, but there's not much I can do about it now, so yeah. After this, I didn't play the tower for a good day or two, I don't think, because I was just genuinely kind of getting annoyed by the earlier floors and constantly failing 6, and I was honestly really starting to wonder if I was even good enough to beat this tower, and if I even could, because I was also trying to multitask the tower. But eventually, I found some sort of motivation to play it again, and I started up a run one morning, and I decided to start playing the tower, and I ended up getting back to 6, and finally getting back to 7, and this time I actually have the recording, so here you go. Great start to 4-7. I'm definitely a little rusty at 7 and 8, probably. I'm not. It's also really late. I'm not really playing the best right now, but it's forcing me a lot longer than I usually take on it, and I don't know why. I think I'm just like nervous for some reason. I don't know why I was struggling so much. It's weird. Alright, man, what the fuck was that bullshit? And just like that, I was back at 4-9. This time, I was determined to make sure I got far again. I was determined to at least get to 10 at least once again. So, here's what happened. Yeah, as you can see, I failed 9 again, which really sucks, especially because I'm at the very end of the floor. However, I guess I got a little bit lucky. I just so happened to fall on the one part of 9 where you could fall on the progress loss below 10, and actually get sent back down to 1 instead of falling off into the void and losing your buttons. Because of that, I still had my button progress. I really contemplated if I even wanted to keep going after this, but knowing I had the 4-6 button progress and I could skip majority of the tower, I decided to get back up again. And boy, my god, I did that. Oh my god, please, 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 bro, please! I beg of you, oh my god, please, 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 please. For the love of God, 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 please, please. Please. I did it! Oh my god, finally, yes! Yes! Oh my god, I fucking did it! Oh my god! And just like that, I had beaten my new hardest tower. Honestly, as much as I didn't have like the best time of this tower, I still enjoyed it a lot, and if you guys are okay with really learning janky gameplay and are able to warm up to the gameplay of this tower, I really recommend it. It is super, super safe and super nice to you, and it gives you a good adrenaline rush. Has some really good gameplay here and there, and it has an amazing soundtrack. This is most definitely the most fun I've had grinding a catastrophic tower, without a doubt, and I think this tower is really, really overhated. A lot of people seem to think it's like really bad, and I can't blame them because I mean it's Heskey, and also I'm pretty sure he made this tower when he was like extreme skill level. So, like, yeah, it makes sense that this tower would be really unbalanced, and it does kind of kill a lot of enjoyment off of it. But personally, I enjoyed it a lot, and I really think you should give it a try if you genuinely feel like you could, you know, get used to it. It does take a lot to get me used to, but honestly, I had a lot of fun grinding this tower. A lot more than I thought I would have, and I was really excited to play it, and I'm honestly just finally glad to have a new hardest after like 3 years of ToGF being my hardest. So yeah, I beat ToEMP finally, and I hope to see me beat, you know, cooler, bigger things in the future. I really hope that I can continue to be good at the game, especially with this new computer. I have a lot planned. I still want to build towers, and, you know, maybe eventually beat like something like TOCP if I feel like it. But yeah, I want to thank my friend Jaden for showing me how to play this tower, and honestly making this a lot easier for me. And I also want to thank Hot Sauce for being a huge inspiration for why I even wanted to do this tower in the first place. Honestly, his video and the way he portrays his tower, and honestly his editing style, has really feels like it's like inspired me to actually record videos and actually edit them and document my experience on towers and stuff. And so, thank you to those two who made this possible, because without them, I don't know if I even would have played this tower, to be honest. And obviously, thank you guys for watching. And if you enjoyed this, make sure to sub, you know, if you want. I put a lot of time and effort into my videos, and if you like this video, expect to see more of this quality and same, you know, editing style from now on, and I hope you enjoy it. Catch you later.